Gasping on a Gig, an audio story by Riggs Richard with the artists.
Okay. Wait a minute. How about this one? They asked him what his thoughts were on the three-piece with the so-and-so on keyboard and so-and-so on vocals and the dude on the drums. And he said, well, you know that traditionally the three biggest dicks in the band are the singer, the drummer, and the keyboardist, right?
I chuckled, because I already knew it. And for all I knew, she was merely trying to affect being drunk and cracking corny band jokes and anecdotes with me because the place was so delectably ill-lit. And you know about having a gun, I said, woefully keeping up the anecdotal pattern because, in spite of it, I wanted to keep her at the table longer, even though it seemed she had a mind to do the same. They asked the bassist if that he had a gun with only 2 bullets in it, would he shoot the singer and the lead guitarist, the keyboardist and the singer, the rhythm guitarist and the drummer, the keyboardist and the lead guitarist, the singer and the drummer, the keyboardist and the drummer and the lead guitarist, the keyboardist and the lead guitarist, or the singer and the rhythm guitarist? And he said he'd shoot the keyboardist twice. She merely smiled, as I'd reckoned she would throughout that, and she replied,
Yeah, I heard that one too. But I'm impressed that you actually remembered the sequence so well.
So why aren't you up playing? I asked. I can tell by the way you sit that you can play bass and guitar.
I am here to be a throwing muse. People don't do that anymore. They think it boxes them in. Fuck it. Every few years I step out, get out of my bedroom, and decide that I'm going to step into a joint, see who picks up on me, and inspire them.
She had told me about her bedroom. She had the walls lined and decorated top to bottom with vinyls, cassettes, t-shirts, candles, banknotes, panties, tuning pegs, and posters. The bed was surrounded by 8 2x6 speakers with a subwoofer under the bed. The sound system was programmed to switch on with her alarms, with enough bass going into the bed to creep up to between her legs. 3 guitars, one of them a Dano Electric, perched up near the darkened window, and 2 basses flanked the entrance to her own private bathroom. A big muff was on the bedside table, right beside a book on semantics. She told me that she seldom left the room. The guys she lived with, none of them musicians, often brought her whatever she felt like, from waffles to Jack Daniels, ensuring a steady traffic stream from the downstairs kitchen to her room. She had lived there for an indeterminate number of years, she said, and the guys had been there for the full duration, with usually one stranger always moving in and out, changing faces. She hadn't fucked any one of them, except if one of the wandering strangers walked in an oddball way. Usually, she would have him pegged for eyesight that marooned the world or purpled it, and usually he would have a busy composer's mind without the ability to play or be aware that he was musical. She liked them like that, and those were the ones that happened to pass through from time to time. As a rule, she fucked them when she did, on her bass amp, which was large enough for 2 people to be on. She only shared her bed with girls, and preferred pop chicks the same way some butchers prefer straight girls, she said.
You go up at 4 a.m. It's a great time to be on.
They were either teeth or a serpent's tongue waiting to reveal themselves, I thought at some point during a blue note, and inside my fear, I had a need for her mouth to feed on mine, to asphyxiate me and poison me. Instead, I sucked her fingers, and she let me, wanting to get her into my veins. At some point, we started talking about a singer who had a notable scar on his cheek, a disruption he entered as if it was a crevice. We sounded like fan people because we were, because it was one more way to hold on while missing the tranquility of solitude before loneliness.
He is the sexiest man alive.
She stated.
In his voice, I have built houses with all the rooms just like my bedroom.
Amen, I said. Outside of this joint, on this night, we were as scatterlings in places where we were the only miscreants of our kind. She seldom had to leave her room because there was nothing for her outside of it, I could tell. I, in turn, kept my head down in incestuous industries where aggressive know-it-alls tried to sucker me into admitting that I knew who the new love of my ex's life was. Places like this joint were wooden ships docking only to collect the rats, snakes, and wolves we were. Yes, she was more wolf than serpent, I saw it now. And to give us a moving home for a few hours. Places like this joint never happened to us, the she-wolf and I. And while she had a bedroom, I had only a car, an office, and a briefcase, and in me were only howls whenever my ache for something familiar and shared pressed upon me, stuck a knife inside me and twisted it all around. I sharpened that knife with my band. I made it shine so distressingly the only way I could have channeled more of my wayward tremors into them to articulate in the razor burn of the songs would have been if I had fucked them myself and broken them. It hardly mattered to me if we were good or not. We were just another drip in the cosmos, but we were a thick, murky and sticky drip. Driving on my daily grind, sometimes my claws emerged and folded like nymphs around the wheel, and I took mountain curves at twice the speed limit, as if the music steered the car and my movements were as a convict's around the waist of a woman he had waited for all the years he bit at the bars of his cell, salted by his own murderous tears.
Something will come over us.
She said, now drowned in darkness.
You know that, don't you? Closer to the time of your performance, a sudden anxiety, a fearful urgency, passion.
I'm just clinging on to you as best I can, I said. Do you think I don't know this? That for an hour or two, a stranger comes and makes one feel creative again, embracing the pregnant night and disappearing by daybreak.
The random, it ruins.
What is fixed and in routine, I have never been a part of, I said, struggling to take in my beer, a crest of malignant tragedy running the road between my gut and my chest. All I have are voices and faces coming to me, mocking me, telling me they are married, they are together, they are with child, and they have found their unions, their congress. Even the ones I play with, they are all on the map, planned out, taken and combining with their own to take care of their own. I will rise with the day like a nosebleed, running and leaking to nothing but an awkward stain on bed sheets that are no one's but mine to clean. She stood up and headed into the bodies of the others. I didn't recognize the song that led her there. A galaxy of women have headed into crowds at the calling of a certain song before she did so. But she was not inviting me to follow her, nor was she abandoning me. She became all things to me. The light and the wonder at the kernel of the dark. The reanimated love sent from a sentient sea on another planet at a time when we still didn't know what to do with other worlds. She became, again, the voice of every single encouragement and confession I'd ever transposed. The compounds in my bloodstream I got wrecked on, even before allowing them to enter me. She became that one quaver in the quiver of orgasm. She came, she saved. She knew of the times I sulked, stomped, and spilled for attention, for the child I was, at the germ of a man I wasn't, who couldn't handle these resurrections no matter how often I saw them. Yet all she spoke was real, attainment forever deferred, me forever pursuing because her voice was intent, and I would honor her so forever, long after the thought that is me perishes.
When you go up, when you get up, when you're standing there with all you have in your hands, I want you to remember these route markers. I know you're losing. I heard you before I saw you, and I knew a shot glass of my blood in your strange brew would give you a new whiff of your level of intensity and what you're capable of. I smelt you in your dissonance, and you're as lost as a junkie in a church snorting communion wafers. Your sixth sense called out to me like 3 heads of Cerberus barking at the gates of hell. And tonight, just tonight, I want to be needed like this. I want to be needed like this. I want you to remember.
You'll glissando off the root note when you play trigger. I want you to slide it into the memory of me and let it explore the gift I left there for you. Nothing but recriminations and malicious tangs, but enough to make you pump up all the phrases you'll play during the bridge break. Right before you think you have it in you to jerk off a solo with that filthy distortion of yours that makes you feel so manly. You'll hold your warning upright then and direct it only with your fretting hand along the notes that spell out the parts of my name already on your tongue.
When you get to overdrive, remember to pulse, and to break a 2-bar line for a sweat, riding the beat and knowing my tone is your rider. With the gnarled bit in your mouth and tasting of me, you will cross the stage then to your external monitor, and aim the blast of your frenetic invective at the crowd. The force behind your expulsion has to be the desire to wonder if I'm there among the faceless, and if my fingertips in the air would feel your wave and caress it. But you know it's not over yet. You know you want to please me, and you'll break your resolve to finish the phrase like the bones of those you've already dismembered. You will keep on going in spite of yourself, in spite of what is safe, and you'll tear the covers off of you with your bare fucking hands to feel the fatal and recognize its filth.
Now, I know of your starvation. I know love has blackened your stomach, tattooed your shoulders, and that yet you will continue to allow yourself to be dominated. But you are heavy. You are carrying more weight than the others. And though you are harnessed with them, you are the one looking to see me while hanging by a thread of your own restraint, while kicking, writhing, and struggling in the air, praying for me to calm you. Your vertigo tastes like some girl you remember who teased you until you were humiliated by her, and her laughter became chords you swallowed and shape-shifted yourself to in the hollow that was your first release when you couldn't tell a navel from the moon. And it is here I coax you out to try again, no matter the mortification, the degradation, no matter how fiercely your spit pulls like a current, not yours but hers. You haven't begun to be disgusting yet. You're still hiding. At the peak of your ferocity, you still cannot reach me, but I want you to be suicidal in your stupidity to even attempt it, to move me with your faltering, so that I can wound your beating heart and create you over again. Not as a celestial being, but as a pile of shattered glass, bloodstains, warm water, and torn flesh that becomes a bellow, containing all the anxiety and pleasure of the sentient and the beast, that becomes the beautiful thing you are, fucked up, sodden, stained but alive, my love, and ready for me once more.
I want you to see your closest friends, already separated from you as they are, as points of contact in a scale. I want you to cage the dying, like butterfly salvos, meant to be set to the sky when the sweep of streaming bends descend. I want you to mourn your departed, as if their ashes colored the key you modulate to in your final canto, your last offer to the world. I want the love you have lost to occupy the space between E-flat and fuck, and to quaver indistinctly, to run through you like an arrow laced with the softest kiss you have ever known, the kiss of one who stroked your face when you startled out of a nightmare, and her eyes are lit to you even in the dark of cold. old city bedrooms and stifled the sobs that stung your throat. I want you to throw shapes and remember how you sidestepped the seduction of damnation and the ballast of habit when you were younger and stronger, and you made it out with your limbs intact from a town where you were not born. When you reach the point where you have become atonal and deaf to your own lullabies to paralyze, when you again seem to be disappearing, I will come for you.
The stage disappeared even as I stood on it. The crowd became cutouts from a child's artwork. Whether she had spoken those words to me at the table, or whether she whispered them to me in the crowd, whether she sent them to me quietly from the other side of the room, of all the rooms we'll ever know, I cannot tell. But somewhere, she was alive and had written my history in a northern soul, had taken my now and made me squirm out of it, ready to play again, one more time. Thinking of her even as I tried to see her, imagine her, reshape her, the pulses began. My body became hard, and I was ready to play long after the music had stopped. Somebody turned out the lights.